Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabillo. On today's show, we'll have Dean Bilodeau from the Saskatoon Minor Softball League, as well as Jeff O'Brien, the City Archivist. As always, we'd like to connect with you. Follow us on Facebook at ConnectYXE, catch past interviews on YouTube, email us at connectyxe@gmail.com, or leave a message at 306-665-3796. Saskatoon Minor Softball League is getting ready to get underway for the 2025 season. We have President Dean Bilodeau with us. I hope to shed some light for many of you watching how to get the kids involved and maybe have a great summer. Dean, thanks for coming to the studio.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I want to talk about you and your involvement with Saskatoon Minor Softball League. It's been around for a while and we have some website changes, you said. Talk a little bit about the league itself and how many players you have lined up so far.
Yeah, sure. So we're just getting started. So registrations ongoing. Evaluations will be happening here in February. As far as numbers, last year we had over 1,300 athletes in minor ball in Saskatoon. That ranges from age groups under 5 up to under 19.
Under 5 is like how under 5 can you play ball?
Basically, that would be like 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds.
Okay.
So each age group is 2 years. So we've got under 5, under 7, under 9, and then we move into our junior leagues, which at U11 starts at U11, and then U13, U15, and then U17B is considered our junior league, and then we have U17A and U19 play in our Saskatoon Amateur Softball Association women's leagues. So those leagues play out of Gordie Howe's, Glenreeve Diamonds, and then our other junior leagues and Learn to Play. They play throughout the City of Saskatoon Diamonds.
And those are located in pretty much every neighborhood, more or less?
Yeah, in the neighborhoods. Our junior leagues are comprised, we split the city in 4 zones. So locally, you're going to play most of your games within your area, and then sometimes you would have to travel around the city. So yeah, typically those are the City of Saskatoon Diamonds, and then a lot of them are in the school grounds and stuff. So yeah.
So just walk me through, if I have some children that I think are interested or they are interested and want to know what's involved. Do we phone or make an appointment to see someone? You talked about evaluations.
Yeah, so if you went to our website, smsl.ca, from there you can get the information, find out which zone you're located in, and from there each zone has their own website under SMSL's umbrella, and then you would go in and register through that zone, and you would get all the dates, the evaluation dates, the league start date, and all that information. So you would register and pay through your local zone.
So if we look at an approximate cost for registration, I have a 10-year-old, for example, what would that look like for me?
So for a 10-year-old, starting at so it would be U11, that registration fee is right around the $300. And then each zone has some different costs associated to their zone, but typically it would be right around that $300, and then moving up to the U13 to U17 is roughly around $425. And that cost gets you your league, it gets you your registration into the league, it gets you your jersey, it gets you evaluations are covered, and so on, and then lots of practice time. So that's typically your main costs, and then once you're placed on a team, some teams will have some additional team fees that those local teams or those individual teams would fundraise for, and those funds would include going to some tournaments. So throughout the season there'd be some tournaments, some extra practices, training time. They might bring in some specialty coaches to do some training, so development. Yeah.
I know it's been a while since I played, but the camaraderie and the fun that we had, I think, is what I drew me to the sport itself. What kind of a commitment do parents and kids have to look for? Is it 2-3 nights a week, or is there practice in a game? What's an average?
Yeah, and it depends on the level. But the league we play roughly 2 games a week. So starting May 5th till the end of June, you'd be committed to approximately 2 nights a week. A lot of teams will practice 1 night a week, so typically it's about 3 nights a week. As you get into the higher levels, the A caliber, those coaches typically will probably have some additional practices, so you might, and some additional exhibition games. So you could look at probably 3 to 5 nights a week, and then tournaments on weekends.
Yeah, so that's May to June.
Yeah.
Is there any pre-May spring training, if you
Yeah,
will?
for sure. So like I said, evaluations are throughout February. We will typically select our teams early March. And then from there, those teams will get, we have a fantastic indoor facility that was built about 5 or 6 years ago, Gordie Howe indoor training facility. So we're able to practice year round. So come March and April, those teams will get a lot of training and practicing at the Gordie Howe indoor training facility. And those teams will also typically rent some gyms and get the girls going, athletes going. And then right until May, depending when the snow is gone. Usually we like to start our league early May, depending on, again, the weather and the city allowing us on their diamonds.
So when we have the I say students, the kids, if you will, and they're playing for May and June, is there an opportunity to get into any civic provincial leagues or expand to nationals, be picked up by any other groups?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, the league runs from May till June, and then typically the provincial championships are usually take place within the first 3 weeks of July. So depending on your age group and your level of play, those provincial championships would happen the first 3 weeks of July. At the A level, so once the teams go to provincials, and anyone can register for provincials, any team can register for provincials. At the A level, there's an opportunity, depending on the age group, but typically the top 3 teams in the province would move on to and qualify to play in a national championship.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and Saskatoon has, again, we've got fantastic facilities out at Gordie Howe, Glen Reeves Diamonds, and we've got the Bob Van Impe Stadium. So we've hosted, we as an SMSL, along with Saskatoon Amateur Softball Association, hosts numerous national championships. So, for example, this year we are hosting U20 men's, and then we are also hosting the women's national championship. In 2024, we hosted the under 19A women's national championships. 2023, we hosted the under 17 national championships, and in 2022, we hosted the U15. So year after year, sometimes you might get to play in a national championships in Saskatoon, which my daughter was lucky enough to play in 2022. And then you might get to play in BC, Montreal, all over Canada. So it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's exciting for people to know that there's something just beyond Wednesday night and the end of June. I find it intriguing that it's highly competitive ball. If you've ever watched that, and it's not just something to poo-poo and say they're just kids or teenagers. It's highly competitive, and I really enjoy the camaraderie and the vibrancy that we see on the field. Talk a bit about entry level and what it would take. You mentioned the entry fees. Is there a large equipment cost that parents would have to look at for getting kids signed up?
So the required equipment would be a batting helmet. So in fast pitch, it's a batting helmet with a face cage, a softball glove, and a bat. We encourage softball cleats, playing on shale and dirt. But that being said, a pair of runners is fine. Some softball pants. And from there, the teams would supply the jerseys. So yeah, it can be a relatively low cost sport. And the one thing that is great with a sport like softball, if there's a child that wants to continue improving, well, they can just get up and go to a city park and throw the ball around, and with their parents, they can hit the ball around, and it's a low cost sport where a person can can really improve at next to no cost.
Easily accessible in that
Easy
sense.
accessible, yeah,
yeah,
you're correct.
low barrier type of sport for kids. And I think that's important to get the kids involved, and it's not something that's a months long project, if you will. But I'm really happy to see the engagement. 1,300 kids across the city is magnificent.
Yep, for sure.
When you have people that are that engaged, does that take the organization, let's talk about now, does that mean that there's pressure on more paid staff, volunteers? How does that work?
It's actually 99% volunteers.
Wow.
Saskatoon Minor Softball League we've got one paid employee that kind of looks after the league, runs the secretarial stuff, admin stuff, but it's all volunteer coaches, volunteer executive members. So yeah, it's a volunteer sport. It's a great sport. It's nice to see people getting involved that played the sport, that grew up playing in the Saskatoon Minor Softball League. So giving back to the sport. Yeah, it's a fantastic organization. Develop a lot of friendships. The athletes, the females get together, and they create long lifetime friendships. I've always said, I've played a lot of sports, and one thing I've always told my daughter is, you'll have a lot of good friends in school, but your best friends will be your teammates.
Well said.
Yeah.
What would you say for someone who's looking in terms of softball versus fastball? Is there a difference, or?
So yeah, we run a fast pitch league. We call it softball. A lot of people call it fast pitch, fastball. It falls under the softball umbrella, Softball Canada. The softball umbrella also includes slow pitch, includes orthodox pitch. So it's just variations of the sport. Typically at the adult level, there's different variations. So fall under the softball umbrella, but yeah, the sport is fast pitch softball.
If someone wanted to reach out to you just for questions or maybe sign up, what would they do then?
Yeah, so we've got a website, smsl.ca. We are currently transitioning to a local Saskatoon-based company. It's powered by Team Linked, which was created in Saskatoon. So you can go to the website. You can go to contact us. I've got my email address. I've got my phone number there. So you can feel free to contact me, and we'll get you in the right direction.
Appreciate that. Dean, thank you so much for taking time. It sounds like fun. I hope to see you out there on the field.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for this opportunity.
Good. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.